For Life was started almost 30 years ago with this idea, and it was an idea and really a vision from David Lisenby that the center of all health is immune system health. And that's, of course, why we call ourselves the Immune System Company. Of course, we also call ourselves For Life Research, and that's because research is really a key, a central part of everything that we do. It really starts there. Ingredients, products, formulas, all start with research. And what was truly visionary with David's beginnings at For Life was his realization that the immune system is central to all areas of health. And at the time, and we're talking about the 1990s, that was a pretty revolutionary idea. We, of course, knew a lot about the immune system. What we didn't know is the connection of the immune system to other areas of health, digestive health, brain health, cardiovascular health. We'll learn about here in a little bit. And really, since that time, there's been so much research that has led us to just really lean into this idea that the immune system is a key part of our overall health. And that's really how we differentiate ourselves from other companies. And we do that through the discovery or the invention of transfer factor peptides. And of course, this was discovered many, many years ago in the 1940s by Dr. Sherwood Lawrence. He actually discovered it in blood. And what he found is that if he took these little things, he didn't know what they were, he didn't know they were peptides, but if he took these things that he called factors and took them from one person to another, it could actually help them, help their wellness in a very unique and profound way. Of course, that research has gone on to essentially become cell-mediated immunity, but it was really that pioneering discovery of these transfer factors. And in the 1990s, David Lisenby found a patent to be able to pull out of these transfer factors out of colostrum, so not blood, colostrum, and pull these out in a way where we could concentrate these small little peptides and put them in a powder, put them in a capsule, and create this wonderful immune product. Something that we now know as transfer factor peptides. Of course, many of you probably know peptides are really, really big right now. A lot of people are talking about peptides. Of course, we've been doing peptides for now almost 30 years, so it's nothing new to us. We feel now like the world is starting to catch up a little bit. And that's good to see, because as people start to understand that, then it makes it a more compelling discussion topic for people going out there talking about transfer factors. If you can go out there and you say, these are peptides, you've heard about the benefits of peptides, we have peptides, these are smart immune peptides. And it makes that conversation much, much easier. And over the course of these 30 years, we've done so much global research. And I say global because the research isn't always happening just in Utah at For Life headquarters. Most of that research is going on all around the world. It goes on in Asia, it goes on in India. We've done quite a bit of research studies in India. We've done research studies, of course, in the US, in South America, all across the continent. We have done this research. And so it's really global research. And the fruits of that research has been in the form of publications. So we have nearly 30 different peer-reviewed publications. So in the science world, this is really how we validate the research, is that we publish it. It goes under a peer review process that allows other scientists to critique it, to criticize it, to question it, and we have to be able to answer all those questions. And if we can publish this research, it is essentially validating that this is good research, it's sound research, it's worth sharing to the world. And of course, we do that also through patents. So we have now, I think, over 80 international patents. We have a number of provisional patents, a number of patents pending. All of these patents are going to carry us well into the 2030s. And that's really important for us and for you, because it protects our formulas, it protects our research. And by protecting our formulas, protecting our research, it also protects you as a business builder, because you can go out there and talk about these products, talk about these ingredients, talk about these discoveries that no one else has. And that gives you a little bit of a ammo in going out there and being able to talk to. These aren't normal products. These are very unique, very specific products, very powerful products that you can go out there and talk about and know that there's no competition out there, because we are the ones who have transfer factor. We're the ones who have patents on these formulas. And that's really key for a company that is very much rooted in research. So let's talk just for a second about what is transfer factor. These are, as I mentioned earlier, these are peptides, right? These are immune signaling peptides. They have an immune benefit. When we consume them, we see an improvement in our immune system. Of course, they're derived from colostrum. That's where the first discovery was back in the 90s. David Lisenby licensed that patent, that ability to pull out these peptides, to concentrate these small peptides out of colostrum to give an immune benefit. A few years later, we actually discovered them in chicken egg yolk, which again kind of makes sense, because when you think about bovine colostrum, right, we're talking about mammals. Mammals pass along their immune wisdom to their offspring through colostrum. Reptiles, and in this case, birds, pass it along through eggs, through the chicken egg yolk. And so we find these transfer factor peptides in chicken egg yolk as well. And now we're going to talk about some of the most recent discoveries that we've been working on, and that is transfer factor from plants. Now, this is the culmination of about 7 years worth of research. And it all started with a question in a call, much like we have here, asking, is there a vegan form of transfer factor? Now, we had been spending years and years and years trying to figure out that next advancement of transfer factor. In fact, I remember talking about it when I was in India, nearly 10 years ago. What's the next innovation of transfer factor? And we didn't know. We had been working on it. We didn't really know, but it wasn't until we got that question from an affiliate that really changed the course of the research for the next 5 years, looking for transfer factor in plants. Now, that research covered over 10,000 different plants that we evaluated. Many of these plants come from India, so they're Ayurvedic. And ultimately, what we found is these peptides, these transfer factor-like peptides in brassica seeds. And we didn't know that we would find them in seeds. Now, we were looking at flowers, we were looking at roots, we were looking at stems, all parts of the plant. And lo and behold, we find them in seeds. And as you start to think about it, it kind of makes sense to find them in seeds, right? Because as mammals pass along their immune wisdom, they do it through colostrum to their offspring. Chickens do it through eggs, through their yolk. How do plants pass along their immune wisdom? They do it through the seeds. So these transfer factor peptides are found in seeds. That's where we found them. If we probably would have thought about it, we probably should have started looking at seeds right from the beginning. But we just didn't know. We didn't even know if transfer factors existed in plants until we started doing this study. And lo and behold, we find them in seeds. So that has spawned this whole new area of research that there's still so much to do. But right now we are translating this discovery into an ingredient that can go into different formulas. And in the US, we've launched a couple of vegan transfer factor products. These are the types of products that you can imagine will be coming to India. We're not quite there yet, but just imagine that this is going to be coming to India, because this is a huge discovery for us. And we're super, super excited about it. It opens up a whole new demographic for us, not just vegans, but people who are very much interested in a plant-based diet. And we know that is a real trend. That is something that is changing how we think about foods, how we think about our health from a plant-based diet standpoint. Now, I want to just share a video that kind of captures the discovery of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and play it, and then we'll continue on.
For life, innovation begins in nature and comes alive through science. Over 5 years of research, hundreds of plant species studied, a bold investment in the future of immune system health. It all led to one breakthrough, the most significant discovery in immune peptide technology in 70 years. Welcome to the birthplace of Phytofactor. Starts with Brassica napus, once prized only for its oil, now a powerful source of immune-supporting peptides. First, the seeds are cold pressed to remove the oil. What remains from the seed is called a press cake. Using a gentle water-based method, the peptides are extracted. Soluble fractions are separated from insoluble fractions. Then comes proprietary membrane filtration, purifying the peptide solution without harsh chemicals or heat. Finally, the purified peptides are spray dried, creating For Life Phytofactor, clean, concentrated, and bioactive. Every step is backed by quality. Our certified facility meets the highest global standards for food safety and consistency. And thanks to mild processing, we preserve the peptide's natural functionality so they perform exactly as nature designed. Sustainably sourced, scientifically advanced, engineered for the future of immune system health. This is Phytofactor, only from For Life.
All right. So one of the things that, there's a couple things that came out of this research. One, we just saw the discovery of plants, of transfer factor in plants, and that's huge because that translates into new ingredients. It opens up new markets for us. It translates into wonderful products. But one of the things that really struck me is that we also found the link between how all species, whether they're animals, whether they're plants, how all species share a code. Because in our DNA is designed to produce offspring and protect those offspring. And the commonality, whether you're talking about plants or animals, is that there's a shared biology for surviving threats, health threats, disease, and that biology is translated in and encoded in the DNA to produce these peptides. And what we found in this work is that these peptides are what we call biosimilar. They're similar in size, they're similar in sequence, they're similar in functionality. And so we really have this, we've really unlocked this code of how we as animals, as mammals and reptiles and birds and plants how we protect themselves. And that code is written into these peptides. And so that opens up this whole new area of research that we can interrogate and understand how do we as a species protect ourselves, and how can we leverage that research into ingredients, into products, into formulas to really help benefit our health. And that was really a key piece that we learned through this, is that connection between plants and animals and how we can leverage that understanding, that research into new products. And so I think that was as big of a discovery as the actual discovery of transfer factor in plants, because now it opens up this whole new way of thinking about how we protect ourselves. And when I say how we protect ourselves, I'm really talking about how the immune system can function, how we can better help our immune system give us the benefits that it was designed to. And these peptides that we're talking about, these are ancient peptides that are passed along from generation to generation to generation, ancient immune peptides. And that's what we found with these transfer factors. And I think that's a really important part of this discovery effort that is now in year 7. Now, you might ask, this whole research, we've discovered this ancient plant immune intelligence, but how does that really apply to our modern day, right? We aren't living in ancient times anymore. We're living in a modern society where there's all kinds of constant health threats. And so what happens when we take these ancient immune peptides and pair it up against this modern stressful lifestyle where we have lots of things to think about, lots of health issues to be concerned with? And this was actually a study that we did to show how we can connect these ancient immune peptides with a modern society. So let's watch this video.
Every day, your body's immune system faces health threats. From the fast pace of modern life to the invisible challenges all around us. When left unchecked, those threats can spread fast. But what if there was a way to support your body's defenses, to flatten the health threat curve? That's where 4-Life Phytofactor comes in. Plant-powered support engineered by nature to help your body's immune system stay active, balanced, and at the ready. Under a laboratory microscope, you can actually see and count the number of health threats. In one experiment, the health threats multiply unchallenged. But in another experiment, the threats stop spreading and begin to die. The red cells you see here are the dead health threats, neutralized by an immune system supported with 4-Life Phytofactor. What does this tell us about a plant-based transfer factor? It works together with our immune system to flatten the health threat curve. Because when your immune system is educated and activated, you're ready to take on life's ups and downs.
So these are the experiments that part of the experiments that we have done to understand how this discovery translates into immune system health. It's just one of many studies that we've been doing. We have clinical studies that we have completed that give us really good confidence in how transfer factor from plants works. And so it's a really exciting time to be at 4Life. It's exciting in the sense that we've opened up this whole new area of research. And it's perfect timing because India is doing really, really well. There's so much momentum. We've got all this research that can really help support all of our markets, including India. And really, it creates this new era of immune support by combining what we've always known, what we've always loved, these animal-based peptides, these immune peptides that we call transfer factor. But now, as we incorporate plants into it, we are leveraging the immune wisdom of plants with the immune wisdom of animals, which ultimately brings in a broader sort of immune communication, a broader sort of immune support type of product. And of course, it also opens up the door for vegan friendly products. And so that's something to be able to look forward to in the near future. So let me now gonna transition over to a different slide deck and talk a little bit about cardio. So cardio is a product that has been in India for a while. I'm just trying to get my screen working here. It's been a product that has been a part of India for a while. It's a very important product. I think Shishir mentioned some of the benefits of a cardio product in India. I want to talk a little bit about that, but just recognize that this cardio product was actually our first targeted health product at 4Life. So it was launched many years ago. It has a number of cardioprotective ingredients, and those ingredients really support healthy cholesterol, healthy blood levels, for people who are interested in cardiovascular support. It's also, of course, the only heart health product out there on the market that has transfer factor in it, specifically to optimize our immune system. So as I mentioned before, one of the visions that David has is helping support our immune system so that if you have a good, strong immune system, it can help other areas of health, such as cardiovascular health. And so let's just talk just for a second, though, about cardiovascular health in India. In India, it is the along with many of our markets, most of the world, it is the number one killer. Heart disease is the number one killer. In fact, in India, there are 300 people who die every hour for cardiovascular disease. So imagine that between the time that we've started this presentation till when we finish this presentation, there will have been over 300 people who have passed away because of cardiovascular disease. It's a very serious issue that people need to think about. And we, of course, want to take a very proactive approach to this by creating a product that helps support cardiovascular health. Now, what's unique about our product is that, as I mentioned earlier, it has immune benefits. There are not very many companies out there that are selling cardiovascular supplements, cardiovascular products that really think about the immune system. And it's unfortunate because the immune system does play a central role in cardiovascular health. If you have a good, strong immune system, then you can have a good, strong cardiovascular system. If you have a strong cardiovascular system, that helps strengthen your immune system. And that's what we call this crosstalk. So it's sort of this bi-directional link, whereas a strong immune system translates into a strong cardiovascular system, a strong cardiovascular system translates into a strong immune system. But if you're not supporting both of those, then you have a weak link that ultimately is not going to give you the best support. And so that's really, I think, the key here in this ingredient is, in this product, is that we want to have a good, strong immune system to help support a good, strong cardiovascular system. If our immune system is dysregulated, if it's not functioning properly, then it's going to be really a challenge to have a good, strong cardiovascular system. And that's really where we differentiate our formulas, our products from many other products. So let's look at the ingredients. You can see here a lot of ingredients are very familiar. These are well-known, well-validated, well-studied ingredients: coenzyme Q, garlic bulb, ginkgo biloba, red rice yeast, amla, pomegranate. Notice that some of these are Ayurvedic, right? These are things that have been known for centuries: garlic bulb, red rice yeast, amla, pomegranate. These things have been known for centuries to have cardiovascular benefits. And so now we are leveraging those centuries of research, that Ayurvedic medicine, into a product that gives us these benefits. Of course, we also have vitamins and minerals, as well as, of course, transfer factor. So let's go through these really, really quickly, and so that we can kind of learn a little bit more about each ingredient. So coenzyme Q is probably one of the most well-known ingredients in here. It supports mitochondrial energy production. So you have to think about our heart as a muscle, right? It's a muscle just like the muscles in our arms and our legs. And that muscle needs a lot of energy. And so you have to support energy in terms of cellular energy, and we do that through supporting the mitochondria, and coenzyme Q is a very good ingredient for that. It also acts as an antioxidant, and the antioxidant portion of coenzyme Q helps support healthy blood pressure. And so one of the things that you find as we start to talk about these different ingredients is we're not looking at just one mechanism of cardiovascular health. We're really looking at multiple angles, multiple targets of cardiovascular health, whether it's blood pressure or cholesterol or mitochondrial energy. There's so many aspects that touch cardiovascular health. And so we want to target each one of these aspects with different ingredients so that we can get these sort of added benefits, these synergistic benefits as we put these ingredients together. Now, of course, you can go out and buy a supplement that only has coenzyme Q10, and that would be a very good supplement, but it's not going to target every aspect of cardiovascular health. And that's one of the central components, the key components of how we formulate, how we develop these products, is to make sure that we are targeting the many different aspects of a particular health issue so that we can get these additive, these synergistic benefits. We also have in this ingredient, in this product, garlic bulb extract. Garlic bulb extract has, of course, been studied for centuries, well known to support healthy blood pressure and circulation. And it's also been learned recently that garlic bulb extract has wonderful immune benefits. And of course, it also has benefits towards healthy cholesterol metabolism. So again, we're working on several mechanisms using multiple different types of ingredients to get these synergistic additive benefits. We also have ginkgo biloba. Of course, ginkgo biloba, everyone probably knows this helps support blood flow, particularly in the peripheral circulation. So when we think about cardiovascular support, we have to think about circulation. And so this is, again, another way to target one aspect of cardiovascular support. Of course, ginkgo biloba also is a wonderful antioxidant because it has these flavonoids in there that help us protect the vascular tissues, these peripheral areas that need support overall when we think about cardiovascular support. Red rice yeast, of course, is another well-known ingredient. Red rice yeast contains these things called monocolins, and those are associated with cholesterol support. So monocolins, these are components of red rice yeast that actually inhibit enzymes that synthesize cholesterol. So you're really trying to, with a different mechanism, you're trying to help support cardiovascular through this means of limiting the amount of cholesterol that comes into our bodies. And what result does that give us? It actually helps support healthy LDL, so that's the bad cholesterol. It helps support the LDL levels within this normal range. There's also resveratrol. Resveratrol is a well-known ingredient. It's a polyphenol. It has antioxidants. These are also linked to heart health support, because when we think about some of the challenges that we have with cardiovascular support, they are in the form of harmful free radicals, right? There's free radicals that are attacking our cells every second of the day. And when we provide antioxidant support, those are really there to help neutralize these harmful free radicals that are constantly attacking our cells, including the cells within our heart. Resveratrol also has some benefits towards nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is a very important key piece of cardiovascular health. It helps support the production of nitric oxide, which then ultimately gives us something that we call vascular flexibility. So as we have flexibility within our cardiovascular system, it helps our blood flow, ultimately, again, helping cardiovascular from a slightly different angle than some of the other ingredients. We also have amla. That's another ingredient that is rich in antioxidants. So again, reducing this oxidative stress, reducing these harmful free radicals. We also have pomegranate. Pomegranate's well known to help blood flow and endothelial function. So another couple of Ayurvedic ingredients that are known to have support in different ways towards cardiovascular health. And we have this really nice, rich mix of vitamins and minerals. So we have a number of different vitamins and minerals. We have a B vitamin complex. We have vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin C. These are for the antioxidant protection, for homocysteine metabolism. They help support circulation as well as cardiovascular energy production. And then we also have a number of different minerals. So magnesium, potassium, zinc, copper. All of these are angled towards supporting healthy blood pressure, helping support heart rhythm, as well as vascular function. And then, of course, we have transfer factor. Now, transfer factor is, again, the key component to helping support and strengthen our immune system. As I mentioned earlier, these are bioactive peptides that are there to support overall wellness. So if you have immune system wellness coupled with cardiovascular wellness, then you're going to have a really strong overall health. Because, again, we're always thinking if we can strengthen our immune system, then we are able to help strengthen other areas of health, including cardiovascular health. Okay, so I just want to summarize that this For Life Transfer Factor Cardio, one of our first targeted products, is a heart health supplement. We have a number of cardioprotective ingredients, ones that are very well known, well researched out there to support healthy cholesterol, to help support blood pressure within the healthy range of circulation. For Life Transfer Factor Cardio, of course, is the only heart health supplement that is powered by transfer factor, again, specifically to optimize your immune system function, which we know is an important part of a healthy cardiovascular system. In fact, if you have a dysregulated immune system, then it's going to be a hard time to really improve your cardiovascular health. Until you can get your immune system in order, then it's going to be a real challenge to get your cardiovascular system functioning at an optimum level.